everybody, it's Kaylin here at Full Purpose and Heart, and today I wanted to give you a look into the Heritage Studies Volume 1 Social Studies curriculum. This is distributed from BJU Press, and I poured through tons of different curriculum for our history choice, and this is what I've selected. Being that I have it, I thought I would also give you the opportunity to see a little bit more inside the curriculum than what's available through the distributor's website. They do have sample pages, so I would encourage you to head over there if you want to see more of what's available. I have here the student text and the teacher's edition. I'm going to try not to give my opinion on this or reasons why I like it. You can check out my curriculum video edition because it was a second part that I am filming for after I purchased this to see why I liked it and how I'm using it and all that kind of good stuff. But this video's purpose will only be to look inside and see what's available. Okay, so let's start with the teacher's edition, just so you can kind of get an idea. There are 11 chapters in this curriculum. It starts with an overview of how the world was made and kind of zones in to the United States. And there are four chapters of historical content in this curriculum. The goals are all listed here in the beginning of the text, and there's also additional instructional materials available through BJU Press that you can purchase. You can have BJU Distance Learning DVDs, and they will have instructors on the DVDs that will teach the material to your student, or you can build the curriculum yourself and teach it yourself through the teacher's manual here. So this is the layout of how each lesson is laid out. It gives great explanation as to what each piece is for. And then they also have the lesson plan overview, which is helpful for a quick look as to what each chapter is going to contain, how many lessons are in each chapter for your planning needs. So as you go to plan it. As you can see, there are 90 lessons in this course. Although this also includes the assessments, because sometimes, for example, lesson 84 is the review and the assessment. So depending on how you choose to use this curriculum, there should be approximately 90 lessons. Now, Heritage Studies 1 was also built to be done over the course of one semester. The way that BJU Press teaches their courses is typically Heritage Studies or Social Studies is over one semester, and then they do science for the second half of the school year. So this is built to be done over the course of one semester. I, however, will be doing it over the course of the entire year. This is a Christian worldview. If you're looking for something a little less Christian, this is definitely not going to be the curriculum for you. Not only does the first chapter start with God's world, but they do talk a lot about the purpose of how God had sent Englishmen over to America using Christopher Columbus, and how different inventors had been inspired and given their talents through God. So there's lots of chatter about God in this curriculum. If that is something you're not looking for, then you're going to want to go somewhere else. All right, I'll just go over a couple of these pages just so you can get an idea, but you'll see here, let me actually do a couple here in the middle of the book, because these first pages you can see on the website. So let's do the Native Americans chapter 7. You'll notice here that this is the chapter overview, so they do have it in the front of the book as well as on the beginning of the chapter. All of the chapters are going to be laid out like this with the double spread photograph. They have a little poem here, as well as the vocabulary on the front of the chapter, the title of the chapter, and the number of the chapter. So all of them are started the same way. And then the content that is written in each of these margins here is sufficient to build an entire history curriculum, parent-led or teacher-led, if you choose to do it that way. They also, as I mentioned, have distance learning DVDs or CDs that you can purchase, and then have the BJU staff teach the material to your students. So But in my opinion, you can build a sufficient lesson from the text that they've written here. It's very comprehensive. They give the actual questions, what you can read to the student. They give the actual answers that you can give to your student. They say, here's the activity guide, and there's a photograph here if you choose to do the activity guide. So it's very comprehensive from a teacher perspective to be able to teach the content if you don't have any previous experience teaching it. So I do like that about it. Okay, so all of these lessons are built out the same. You'll see here this is an activity lesson, so they do have activities built into the curriculum, and they'll explain how to do it and how to teach it and how to build it with your students. So that's kind of a fun feature as well. Okay, so that's the teacher's manual. And even though you saw how the student text pages are included in the teacher's manual, I will just flip through this quickly so that you can get an idea of some of the pages. Now, Unit 1 is available, or excuse me, Chapter 1 is available on their website, and all of the chapters are pretty much laid out the same as their Chapter 1. But I'll go through some of these middle pages just because that's what I like to do when I'm looking at curriculum. I want to see how all of the pages are laid out. So your state here. This is the DC, so your country's capital chapters. First Americans. This is the Christopher Columbus chapter. All right. The back of the book does have an atlas, so you have the continents here, you have the United States of America here, and then they also have a picture glossary in the back of the student text that can be used throughout the lessons. Here is the index. Teach your children about index, and there you go. So this is the Heritage Studies. Again, it is provided from BJU Press. And this is not a sponsored video. BJU Press did not ask me to do this. I chose this curriculum for my first grader and decided that if you're interested in seeing a little bit more into the text, this video might be helpful for some of you out there. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, give me a thumbs up and have a great day.